No, I think it's going to be okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting for Wednesday, January 11th, 2017. At this time, we invite you all to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes of the emergency meeting on November 30th and the minutes of the special meeting on December 15th be approved.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Approval of the warrants.
Mr. Chairman, I move that warrant 28A-17 in the amount of $83,556.08 payroll. Warrant 28B-17 in the amount of $84,345.97 dated January 11th, and warrant 28C-17 in the amount of $20,218.33 dated January 11th, the last two being accounts payable, be approved.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Correspondence?
No problem.
No correspondence. Announcements. Tonight's announcements. Trash bags, shops, disposal containers, and recycling stickers are all for sale at the Board of Selectmen's office. Call 508-669-6431 for more information. If you need fuel assistance this winter, call Citizens for Citizens at 1 Taunton Green, Taunton, Mass. at 508-823-6346. Burning season is January 15th, 2017 through May 1st, 2017. Permits may be obtained at the Dayton Fire Station, 300 Main Street, for $10. Please make checks payable to the town of Dayton. There is a winter parking ban in effect from November 1st through April 1st of each year. No parking is allowed on any street during this time. Landfill stickers are available for 2017 at the transfer station only during regular hours on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Payment by check at the transfer station should be made payable to the town of Dayton for $15. Registration is required for the vehicle being permitted, and stickers are not transferable. Please check your town website for updates during snow emergencies. The Greater Attleboro Taunton Home Consortium has funding available to help first-time home buyers or owner-occupied rental properties in need of rehabilitation. For first-time home buyers, call Pro Home at 508-821-2514, or for the owner-occupied rental property rehabilitation, call Jim Howland at 508-821-1093. Senator Mark Pacheco or a representative will be at the Dayton Council on Aging on Tuesday, January 17th from 12:45 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. and then at Dayton Town Hall on the same day from 1:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. If you would like to set up an appointment, please call 508-823-0095. Town censuses have been mailed We ask you to please complete and return them as soon as possible. Nomination papers for the annual town election are now available at the clerk's office. The Green Communities Grant Committee is still accepting applications for members. The last day to submit a volunteer application is tomorrow, Thursday, January 12th at 4:30 p.m. The deadline for reports to be included in the 2016 Town of Dayton Annual Report is January 30th, 2017. And the food bank distribution will be held on January 21st at the Dayton Town Hall, lower level. And we have the list of the elected officials whose terms are expiring. Again, our nomination papers are available for any that you might wish to run for at the clerk's office. We have an opening in the Board of Assessors for 3 years. We have an opening for Board of Selectmen for 3 years. We have 2 openings, each for 3 years, on the Dayton Rehoboth School District School Committee. We have 1 opening for 5 years on the Housing Authority. We have a seat open for 3 years for Parks and Recreation. We have a seat open for 5 years on the Planning Board. A seat open on the Public Library Trustees for 3 years. A 3-year seat on the Sewer Commission. And a 1-year vacancy as the town moderator. Again, nomination papers are available until February 16th, 2017. Old business, review, discuss, and act on a 5-day work week at Town Hall.
Mr. Chairman, this was on the agenda last week, and it was placed there because of some feedback we had gotten from individuals, residents in town, who were concerned about the amount of time that Town Hall was closed in November and December due to the holidays and due to the 4-day work week. The first thing I want to do is apologize to the public. When I was speaking last week, one of the statements I made was that there is a clause in the agreement that allows the people in town to have a say about the whether or not we keep the 4-day work week or go to a 4.5-day work week. That's not the exact wording. I have since gotten a copy of the agreement, but I also have a copy of a letter that I was asked to write on March 4th, 2015. So the comments I made about what the residents are allowed to do are contained in this letter. And this related to some of the discussion that took place during collective bargaining. So I just want to clarify a couple of things. Basically, all employees would work their normal total hours per week within the 4-day time period, Monday through Thursday, which also included coverage on Wednesday evenings. During this entire discussion, and even right now when we're asking people to provide feedback, Wednesday evenings are not in jeopardy. Wednesday evening coverage will continue, as it has since who knows when, probably going back to when the town office was at the old high school building, or the junior high, as some of you may have remembered it. All departments in Town Hall would work, and all services would be provided to accommodate the public during Monday through Thursday, including Wednesday evenings. The additional hours per day would not result in additional costs to the town, and no employee would be entitled to overtime pay because their workday had been extended to meet the new work schedule. The 4-day work schedule would remain in full force and effect unless and until a sufficient number of residents objected to the Friday closing of Town Hall, and such objections were made to the board, meaning the Board of Selectmen. any employee covered by the CBA, collective bargaining agreement, who found that they could not work the extended hours per day for any reason, would so notify the board, and the 4-day work week would end and the 4 1/2 days per week schedule would resume. Any employee covered by the CBA who notified the board under the conditions listed in number 5 above would not be penalized, and no action would be taken by the union that would cause distress or discomfort to said employee. Should a sufficient number of residents object to the closing of town hall on Fridays, or if an employee covered under the CBA were to notify the board of their inability to work the extended hours, neither circumstance would or could result in a grievance. So when I was talking about the role that residents can play, it was from this document, and it was part of the original discussion. Now, the actual memorandum of agreement, I have a copy of. By the way, when this was written, I did not have that document. As a matter of fact, it's sitting on a computer at home, an old one, and I suppose if I wanted to, I could get in there and get it, but in order to save time, I do have the document that was actually signed. It talks about the hours, and which is pretty much reiterated in what I've already read here, but there is something important I want to point out. When I had said that, it talked about the talked about this memorandum of agreement and about the role that residents could play, which has led us to ask residents who want additional time for town hall to be open to let us know. Clause number 6 in this memorandum says, if either party is of the opinion that the 4-day work week as agreed to herein is not working properly, or is not meeting the needs of the citizens of the town of Dayton, a 10-day notice of termination and intent to return to the previous 5-day week and schedule will be provided, and this agreed to 4-day schedule will be ended, and the previous 5-day week and schedule will be reinstated. So actually, what's contained in the memorandum of understanding is stricter language than what I had actually mentioned. So I'm sorry for the statement I made as far as the confusion. Obviously, the language and the role of residents as far as having a say is stronger in the actual agreement that got negotiated. And I will just read the first clause in this. It is mutually agreed to between the undersigned parties as follows. And when they talk about the parties, they're talking about the clerical union and the town of Dayton, represented by the Board of Selectmen. The undersigned parties, based on economic, operational, and staffing concerns, are agreeing on a trial basis to a 4-day work week for town hall employees. And then the actual schedule of hours is listed. And it talks about what happens during holidays. So that'll bring us up to where we are tonight. We have gotten some feedback in the little box out on the north side of the building. I think there's some misunderstanding of what we asked for. We got a lot of feedback telling us the hours are fine, leave them alone. Well, obviously, if the schedule has been in effect since this memorandum was signed, which was when I was on the board the last time, we don't need feedback to tell us leave the hours alone. What we specifically asked for, and by the way, we have received, is because of the amount of time that this building was closed to the public during November and December through the end of the year, through New Year's Eve, basically, what we were asking for was, in addition to the people that have already spoken to us, if there are people out there who wish to express their opinion and prefer to do it anonymously, we gave them some options. You can drop a note in the box. If you have a coded email address that doesn't identify you, you can send email to the Board of Selectmen at townofdayton.com. selectmen.com, okay? Or you can just write a note and put a stamp on it and send it to the Board of Selectmen, 979 Somerset Avenue. So there are 3 options to be anonymous if you so choose. We have gotten some anonymous feedback from people who understood what we were asking for. And I will tell you about both some of the comments that makes me think people didn't understand what we were asking for, and a couple of other comments. What I find surprising, but then again, maybe not really. Our concern was that people have the opportunity to express their opinion anonymously. It's a small town, everybody knows everybody, and we felt that by offering anonymity, we would get feedback. And up to this point we have, but a lot of the feedback we've gotten is person to person. So some people, and that's fine, choose not to be anonymous. I'm not going to reveal the names of anyone that's spoken to me. We are going to leave this comment period open until the end of January. So if anyone wants to see us, talk to us, drop a note, mail a note, send an email, whatever, you've got the time to do that. A couple of the comments we got that I'm not sure people understand what we're asking for. One says, focus on the schools, not the hours at town hall. This Board of Selectmen does not have the authority to do anything about if people are unhappy with schools. Obviously, this board and finance committee and those of us who have children in the system, those of us who have positions that require us to take a stand on school budgets and all that, we do that. But focus on the schools, well, that is really not within the turf of the Board of Selectmen. So,
And we don't want to micromanage.
no, we don't have the authority to, whatever this means. So I just point out to you, whoever sent this, if you are unhappy with something about schools, you need to contact the school committee, the superintendent, the principal of the school, if it's a particular one, but that's not us. I would prefer that the hours do not change. The late hours on Wednesday are very convenient. There has never been a discussion about not being open on Wednesday evenings. The only time that we are historically not open on Wednesday is when we go on the summer schedule, which we announce well in advance, which means this board meets every other Wednesday and not every Wednesday. And it's usually June, July, August, and we start in September, and we go back to our weekly. So I think there's misinformation there. As I read to you, even the documents that I have here are clear. Wednesday nights is open for the public. And there's a lot of business that goes on here on a Wednesday night, as we've seen tonight. Due to recent incidents, I feel that this business of changing hours is petty and unnecessary. Focus on more important matters. It is a shame to hear about things happening around town. It's too bad Dayton isn't in the paper for positive things. How about you work on lowering the taxes? This is something that would benefit the residents more than changing the hours. Again, first of all, what's in the paper is in the paper. We don't control that. What has been reported in the paper recently actually has been very good, considered to stuff that happened a month or two ago. There were articles about the little Christmas train that was done at Bristol Plymouth, which certainly was good publicity. We had the Stuff the Cruiser with the involvement of many townspeople, the police officers, the fire department, firefighters, EMTs.
The debt exclusion passing.
It's a shame to hear about things happening around town. It's too bad Dayton is in the paper for positive things. I don't know how much more positive you can get beyond what I've just described that happened, again, in November and December with town involvement. And if I want to back up, we can talk about the Arts Festival, we can talk about Eagle Scout projects. I'll tell you this, the publicity in the paper about us notifying the Intertribal Council to vacate the property next door so we could use it for office space, what you read in the paper was not true. We never, and I will underline the word never, took eviction action against the council. Never. So anyone who has the opinion that we threw them out and everything else doesn't have the whole story. And certainly if anyone wants to pursue that, we can tell you exactly what happened, because it's been documented. But in any case, I don't know how much more positive things can get as far as the kinds of things that townspeople have been involved in. Yeah, we've had some serious incidents reported. And quite frankly, folks, the next time that comes around, this isn't going to go away right away, and that's all I'm going to say on that. I don't really see the need to change hours that have been working perfectly for years. If residents aren't complaining, then why is there a need for an hour change now? It seems to me certain people might be bored and looking to stir things up. I will again reiterate. Repeat again, Woody, again and again. The reason we asked for feedback is because residents have stated concern and complaint. So just not acting on what we have personally received, we're asking the public to let us know. So again, to whoever wrote this one, the only reason we're asking for this is because people have spoken up and we're giving them an opportunity to give us more feedback. Don't fix what's not broken. We never said anything was broken. We're looking for feedback. This one says Friday mornings don't help. Does that mean we should be open all day on Fridays? If we were to revert back to the 5-day work week, we would be open 4.5 days. The 5th day, Friday, is actually half a day. So Friday mornings don't help. So does, I don't know if this person means we should be open all day Friday, but that all day Friday was not what was being discussed. Again, I am not going to repeat or say any, divulge information or our identities of people who have personally contacted me, except to say there are people concerned. But I've got a couple here that I want to read to you. To whom it may concern, I find it very inconvenient having the town hall open only 4 days. If you need something done on Friday, you have to wait until the following Monday. Very inconvenient. Would be very helpful if the town was open that extra day. And by the way, we all know we have a lot of Monday holidays, so if you need something done, you're going to wait till Tuesday. Town Selectmen, after newly moving into this town, I could not understand why this town hall is not open serving the people 5 days a week. I'm sure if the employees currently employed by the town do not want to work the entire week, there are dozens of people that are still looking for work to provide for their families and would be more than happy to serve the people. I am ready to express my support in making the town hall in Dayton a full-time office. It would be great if the town actually had a town hall that was open 5 days a week to accommodate folks that may need to obtain permits or other paperwork during business days. Being open 4 days is a joke. Even a 4.5-hour workday is a joke. The town hall should be open 5 full days. The town hall should be open 5 days a week, normal business hours. If the work week is 40 hours, then it should be open 8 hours a day. If it is 35 hours, then it should be open, actually 7 hours a day. If the staff has an issue working 5 days a week, then perhaps they be replaced with people who are willing to work. I hope you consider the feedback that you get and take action, which would be in the best interests of the town and not the employees that are paid from the residents. So Again, I'm not suggesting anything at this point. I have now, again, tried to clarify exactly what we're looking for. Anyone who wishes to express an opinion, you can do it by contacting us, you can do it anonymously. We're going to leave this open until the end of January. We are not asking people to vote, yes, leave it the way it is, yes, change it, whatever. This is not an election. All we're asking for is feedback. And as I read to you, if we had not been approached or we have already received feedback from people that we felt now is significant, because in the past, we've usually, at least I've only heard from one person. And with one person raising the issue, not only this board, but previous boards, since this agreement was signed, have not done anything. But I've given you a little sample of what has come in so far. I think the feedback we've received and the comments that we've received personally is something that we can't ignore. We have to look at it. So at this point, if you have feedback, you have an opinion relative to changing the hours, meaning to extend them to a 5-day work week, just let us know. It'll go in the folder, and when the end of the month comes, we'll put all of this material together, and we'll let you know some more of the comments, and then we're going to have to take this under advisement and determine what we have to do. But now you know the terms and conditions in the signed memorandum, you know some of the history from when the negotiations were taking place and what was agreed to. So if you have something, folks, just send it in to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next, we move on to new business. First on the agenda, review, discuss, and act on a request from the highway superintendent to overspend the snow and ice account as needed. It's a letter from the highway department, Thomas Ferry, superintendent of streets, in regards to the snow and ice account. Please consider allowing our department to overspend the snow and ice account number 423 to continue to provide adequate funds for materials and staffing as needed for the winter of 2016-2017. Please contact me with any questions. Thomas Ferry, Superintendent of Streets.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the request.
I'll second.
Ferry?
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
I just want to mention, under the weed whacker bill, he no longer has to do this, but I think if I were a department head, I'd do it anyhow.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion carries unanimously.
I think it's good to have it on the record.
Next agenda item, review, discuss, and act on a request from the Taunton area Vietnam veterans to use town hall property for cruise nights during the summer. We have a memorandum from the Taunton area Vietnam Veterans Association to the Board of Selectmen. The Taunton area Vietnam veterans request permission to hold cruise night events on town hall property for one night per month during the months of June, July, and August 2017. If any further information is needed, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, as we all know, Tony Rosario, Taunton area Vietnam veterans.
Make a motion to approve the request, Mr. Chairman,
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
with the stipulation that Mr. Rosario tell us about what's been going on.
And take me.
Be happy to. Yeah, this, 10th, 11th year, pretty sure it's around here. And, yeah, we do the cruise nights, in the back here, and, the guys is to raise money for scholarships, which, we do scholarships for all the local high schools. As a matter of fact, last year was, one girl down the street from Dayton here that, got a scholarship. And that's it, really. And other charities that Vietnam vets support, homeless vets, that kind of thing. And yeah, and it's getting a little bit bigger. You know, first year I think we had about 80 cars, now we're about up to 150, somewhere around there. And the people love it. They love the area. They love the foundation of it. And it's just amazing.
Do you have the dates for this year?
Yeah, the dates is June 24th, July 22nd, and August 26th. It's the fourth Saturday of every month of those months, just once a month. And it's weather permitting. You know, if it's a little bit of rain or looks like it's going to rain, guys ain't showing up, they ain't coming. So, and that's that, you know, and everybody has a good time. We have a great band, the Villamillas, and it's a doo-wop band. They sing the 50s, 60s, and 70s songs, and we have a good crowd, and people just dance out here, you know. So, that's it.
10 or 11 years?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's got to be around there already. Time flies. Yeah. It just flies.
And just for the public, cruise nights are open to the public. There is no admission fee.
No admission.
There is music, there is food for sale,
Yep.
vintage automobiles, and it's just, think about a mini block party.
It's just a cruise. The people come in, they listen to the music, dance, they have something to eat, and they just go to another cruise night. Just guys out cruising, you know. And it's a lot of fun.
And it's a family event.
And it is definitely a family event. You can see out there people dancing, with kids and all kinds of families. You know, we really have a good time back here, and it hasn't been no problem. So, yeah, just asking if we could use the property.
Before I call for this vote, I just have one more question. Are you gonna be at all three?
Definitely.
Well, I saw you getting a passport, I don't know if you're leaving town.
No, I'll be there. Last year I missed one. Last year I had a wedding to go to, so I didn't make one. But I set it up. I was here, then I had to leave. But,
Convince them to have the wedding here.
yeah, I had to leave for one wedding. But like I said, I set it up and I let the guys make sure that everything was clean, just the way we found it. And that's what we've been doing.
If there's no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Great job, Tony.
I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope to see you there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
My parents will.
I know they were doing it when I was on the board the last time, and I don't know when it started actually, but
I never had this before. Restaurant movie.
I was surprised to see that.
Yeah. Next on the agenda, this is first time for me. Review, discuss, and act on a request from the highway superintendent for permission to register a new vehicle.
Maybe it's because he's not transferring plates, and it's a whole new registration? Is that what it is?
Oh, okay,
Because I've never seen this either.
okay.
Mr. Ferry, you're confusing us.
That's right. This is to the Board of Selectmen from Thomas Ferry, Highway Superintendent, registration request. I hereby request permission from the Board of Selectmen to register one 1995 International Navistar Series 4700 4x2 truck, donated to the town of Dayton by the United States government. Sincerely, Thomas Ferry.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we grant that request.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? This came from Department of Defense, Richmond, Virginia. If
What
there's
kind of
no,
truck is it?
yeah, it's a 95 International, Navistar Series 4700. Karen, did you have a picture of that? Did you see it?
I looked it up, it's a big truck.
Is it?
It looks like one that goes on the front of a tractor trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe not that
That
big,
might be,
but-
that might be to replace the lemon we got. You know, that one that was bought a few years ago? Had
Is
all
it, is
type-
it, is it a straight body truck?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Because they come in all different shapes. You can do anything with them. You can put any back end pieces on them, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but
That's
if you
what it
can
is.
put something on it, it's a straight body truck, because everything else you tow.
Yeah.
So if you have the cab and then it's, stick something on the back, it's a
Right,
straight body.
that's what that's for.
Yeah, okay.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, that motion carries unanimously. Do we have any reports?
We met with the superintendent of schools today, the board with Dr. Azar, and they are in the process of wrapping up the initial formulation of the FY18 school department budget, and we will probably be getting a copy of that by the end of this month. I was appointed to serve on the DR Financial Advisory Committee again, and we'll be meeting the last week in January, and that's when this committee, that advisory committee, will get to see the budget for the first time, and then after that, I think it will be coming out to the two boards of selectmen. And they have set up a schedule, because within the regional agreement, there are certain deadlines that have to be met as far as budget preparation in order to be ready for, well, the first town meeting is Rehoboth, so that's the first date they have to meet. And right now, everything is really iffy because no one knows what we're gonna have for state aid. We're still trying to figure out how we're gonna end up this year as far as state aid goes, because there have been cuts made, but none of us have been notified there would be cuts to local aid, so hopefully we're gonna be safe through June 30th, and the money they promised us will be received. So that's basically where that is, and when I go to the meeting, the first one, I'll have something to report what takes place there.
Brett, do you have anything?
Nope.
I'll move right on to acknowledgements. I'd like to accept an acknowledgement on an anonymous donation, the amount of $24 to the Council on Aging, and a second anonymous donation to the Council on Aging for $60.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we acknowledge an anonymous donation to the Council on Aging, the amount of $24, and a second anonymous donation to the Council on Aging, the amount of $60.
I second that, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, that motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I do have one other brief report. Last Friday, there was an open house informational meeting that was sponsored by the Attleboro Taunton Home Consortium. And this relates to the announcement that was read during, earlier in the meeting. The purpose of the meeting, I went to the one at the Middleborough Town Hall. There was one also held that evening at the Attleboro City Hall. And Mr. Ferreira outlined the amount of money that is available, that is in hand, by the way. The consortium has the money. So if there are any first-time home buyers out there who think they may qualify, the phone numbers were read, they're on file here. If anyone thinks they may be interested, please give us a call or call and we'll give you the numbers and the information again. It's very important that the money that we get from HUD, Housing and Urban Development, which is federal money, that the money gets expended within the time period allotted. If it doesn't get expended, we can't carry it over, it must go back. When I say we, I attend these meetings, so I said, we means the consortium. So, the money's there to help first-time home buyers who qualify based on income and other guidelines. So, if you're even thinking about it, please give them a call and apply, because the goal is to spend the money they give to us, because we can't roll it over. And I think any money that comes to southeastern Massachusetts should be expended in southeastern Massachusetts and not sent back to Washington or wherever and go somewhere else. Let's get a return on the taxes we pay, folks. And I'm talking federal and income taxes.
If there's nothing else, public input? Anybody have anything like to discuss, ask? If there's no further public input, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So I second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Guys have it. Good night, Cable.
Good night.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Great job, Mr. Ferry, and the Highway Department and the Public Safety Departments during the first big snowstorm we had. Good job, everybody.
Thank you.